Module 6, Lesson 7, Patterns in Scatter Plots. There's only a couple definitions here that I'm really going to go over with you, and then you guys can try the problems. We've been looking at bivariate data, and when we look at a scatter plot with the data plotted, there's some things we want to look at. First of all, does it look like there's a relationship between the two variables? Is there some type of pattern there? So we answer that basically as yes or no. And then we decide if that pattern is forming a linear relationship or not. Is it linear or nonlinear? And then the third thing that we want to look at is we want to see if it's linear, is there a relationship that's positive or negative? Same as slope. Positive would go uphill, negative would go downhill. So that's the first three things we want to check out with these. So you're going to see problems that look like this. And they'll say, is there a relationship? Does it look like there's some type of connection between the dots? Is there a relationship that is linear if there's a relationship? So is it linear or not? And then finally, if it's linear, is there a positive or negative relationship? So you'll go through and answer yes or no to those questions. All right, the other thing we're going to look at here with example 2 is we're going to take a look at two things called clusters and outliers. A cluster, usually the data isn't really clumped together anywhere possibly. Usually it's kind of in some type of pattern, but sometimes the points may form a distinct cloud of points, or usually two or more distinct clouds of points. This is called a cluster. Okay, so where we have like a group of numbers put together. The other definition for an outlier is it's an unusual point in the scatter plot. It usually doesn't fit with the other points. It's far away from the other points. It's something that kind of stands out among the numbers, and it could be standing out in the X or the Y or both. So that's what we're going to be looking for. So here's a scatter plot that we're going to take a look at. We'll answer a couple questions with it. First of all, do you notice any point in the scatter plot that there might be an outlier? If so, what is it? So I would say this point right here is an outlier. Okay, so yes, there is an outlier. There appears to be. If so, what is it? I'm going to say, well, I'm just going to label it on here. Outlier. Okay, somewhere between 90 and 100 for the X and about 100 for the Y. So we'll say at 95, 100. That point appears to be an outlier. Second question, if you've identified an outlier in exercise 10, write a sentence describing how this data differs from the rest of the data. Well, it appears that the chest girth, which is your X, is smaller than the rest of the data. And the weight is also much smaller than the other data. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at the clusters. So let me go to the question. You can look at the question and then we'll answer it. Do you notice any clusters in the scatter plot? If so, how would you distinguish the clusters in terms of chest girth? And can you think of a reason why this might have occurred? So let's go back here and look at our picture again. So we want to know if there's any clusters. Just kind of glancing at this, I see this group of points right here, this group of points here in the middle, and then this group of points up here. So I would say these are our clusters. So going back here to answer this, do you notice any clusters? Yes, I do. And if so, how would you distinguish? Let's go back here and look at the chest girth for each one of these. So the lowest one here is about there compared to there. So I'd say maybe 105 to 115. So 105 to 115. The next one, here's our lowest point, and here's our highest point. So we're going to say about 120 to 145. And then our final one Looks like this goes about there to about there. So maybe 155 to 165. So why might these clusters have been occurring in these Rocky Mountain elk that they recorded this data from? Why might we have 3 chunks of data like that? Group here, and a group here. Why might we have a smaller group with a smaller chest girth and a lighter weight, a middle group with a medium-sized chest girth and a medium weight, and then a larger group with a larger chest girth and a higher weight? Well, it's very likely that we have youth, maybe females and males. Without doing more research, I don't know for sure if that's what it is, but we could conclude that there's something like that. There's some reason why there's 3 distinct groups.